You guys are going to hate me, but I'm making homework videos for these maps. We tend to do way better when we like go into these custom lobbies before the game and we kind of talk about what we want to do each map, and we have an idea of like where we're trying to control and where we're going to default plant and stuff like that. So I'm just going to speed up the process, and this is going to be our custom map talking about things before the game video, and it'll be easier for everybody. You're welcome. We haven't really played Sunset a whole lot as a group, so this is one I felt like we needed to go over. I'm just throwing out a bunch of jets here to get the idea before we talk about personnel, but normally what pros will do here is they do a normal 2-1-2 setup, 2 on B, 2 on A, 1 in the middle. I want to look at A first to kind of start. A is interesting. Elbow is the name of the game for A, back here. This is the most important part of the map. Once you get into elbow here as offense, that's what allows you to look into, what is that, alley, and then put pressure onto link. So for offense, we're going to try to get up into elbow, and defense, we want to take away elbow. For A, there's literally one like line to get through here. Unless you're going to push all the way through mid to try to get back into link here, you can only push A through this one side. So that's why if we're attacking A, that's why getting to elbow here makes it super important. So then we can put pressure on the other sides of the site here, link and alley. So we got to get to elbow on offense, and on defense, we want to stop elbow. A lot of pros that I see will just sit here and they'll peek it initially. They'll have somebody elbow, and their setup will be kind of one person there, one person over here. Jet can play up here a little bit for an off angle. I've seen that at times. But they kind of get this initial peek because this is the only way that they can come from A. So if we have our two guys kind of set up here, it's easy to also fall back then if we get pushed out. If they're going to have to use a ton of utility to get through this main hole here. And if there's a way, if they stop going this way and we can have both of these players kind of leak up and then get somebody freed up to go into here and take tiles control, that's huge for this side of the map. If they stop putting pressure on A and we can get these guys up and get somebody in tile, that's going to free up the second player on A to go back, do whatever he wants, play mid. He can even flank through here. Having somebody tiles is huge for them trying to get through A. So that's going to be kind of our goal for our two people on A, is if we are really good at stopping them from coming through this initial alley, I want to push up and play somebody through into tiles. So this first peak can be big, just getting information, or both of the players here doing whatever they're going to do to try to stop this A. If they need to fall back, try to keep elbow as much as we can. Like there's a lot of really good angles for ops and guns here that you can shoot one, you can fall back. There's really good angles to keep doing that. And falling back. But elbow is going to... We try not to give up elbow and fight as long as we can to keep control of elbow. As soon as they get into elbow, it makes retaking really hard. All these people on site are pretty much exposed from this guy, and the only way really to fight back through is to come from alley, and this can be super difficult for the retake. So then obviously for offense, it's difficult on A. We're going to have to fight these guys back, and we're going to have to use utility to smoke things out and try to get up. We're going to try to get alley control here. This is going to help us get elbow, but even these fights can be tough because we expose ourselves so much and there's not really good angles from that side. The best way to do it, again, is to get elbow, and if we can get elbow control, and you're able to push these guys back into alley, those smokes there, I mean, the elbow controls this site. I've said it like 3 times. So elbow is the biggest thing. Get into elbow on offense, and then where are we trying to plant? Trey, you're probably going to be our bomb carrier this time. So where are we planting on this site? Where are you not planting? First of all, you're not planting in the middle here. If you plant right in the middle here.
Spike planted.
We can't check it from really anybody. This is a very safe spot to plant it. You probably will not die by planting it there. But we cannot really check it from anywhere. There they can hide behind. If we try to, we'd have to come all the way here to get it. And then same thing from here. And again, that if for offense, we're trying to get elbow control, we're trying to get link control. So this is where we're going to be, mostly. We might have somebody in that corner, but we're mostly going to be in these two spots, and we can't check it from really either of those spots. So this is a big no-no. We're not planting here. We are also not planting here, in this corner. This is a very safe plant spot, again, being in that corner, because you're probably not going to get hit off of it. But how are we going to check it again? If we're playing alley, we're going to have to completely give ourselves up to get in here and check it, and that exposes us from, God, pretty much everywhere. If we try to go there, the only person that can really play this is elbow. So don't like that plant spot either. That's very, very popular, and you see a lot of people doing it there. And behind those two boxes, I don't like them for that reason. If you're a 1v1, if you're soloing and you plant it there, you might think like, oh, I can play elbow and it'll be easy to do that. You plant there, you pretty much tell them that you're playing elbow. Because again, there's only one place to look at it from here, so it gives you very limited options on how we want to play that. If we plant it there, we pretty much need 3-4 people elbow.
Just,
because that's the only place to watch it. So we're not planting in either of those spots. So where are we planting? Default plant spot on this map is going to sound stupid. Is right here. Default plant spot is going to be right here on this box by this wall. There's a few things, I watched a video, there's a few things that they say about planting. One of the big things that you want to do when planting is try to plant it on a wall, because it eliminates like where they can be, and you know a little bit easier where they are. So we're planting up against this wall here. From there, it's a very, very easy check from elbow, and it is a very, very easy check from alley, or from link, and alley. Our third one. So our idea for post plant here is we even want somebody up here, we can check it from all three areas. That is the default spot. So every time we plant, unless we're going to assume we plant there, you just say default, we're planting default. Or if you don't say anything, you just say I'm planting, we're going to think it's there. That's where we're going to assume that it's being planted. Because that is becoming our default spot, if we push A, there's not really any such thing as a quick plant. We're not really bombing out sites on this map. If we're planting default, it's because we have this control, right? Ideally, we have somebody all the way up in alley already, and we have somebody that's able to play these angles, maybe even is further up and is able to play some of this and look out this way. But we want alley control, obviously, before we plant default. The way we're able to do it if we don't have alley is just that smoke there. If we're able to throw the smoke, some type of smoke there, while that plant is being done, again, we need somebody here, an elbow. Even with that smoke blocking it off, we need somebody watching it in case they push through it while the bomb's going down. So this is default spot, where we can see it from 3 different angles, but this isn't really a quick plant spot. B's a little different. I'll show you over B we can do a little bit quicker, but it's not like some of these other maps where there's a quick plant spot, because we need much more of site control on A in order to plant here. Because we can very, very easily put ourselves into a hole by planting in one of these bad spots, and then all of a sudden we lose elbow and it's an easy defuse. Or we lose out link and then it's an easy defuse behind the box. So like we lose sight at all, and it is the easiest thing to stick a defuse right here. Nobody's gonna, they have to push on top of you to get the kill. So that's the default, and we're gonna plant it later in the round when we have alley control, when we have elbow control, or if we have elbow control and we smoke out alley there. The other 2 plant spots that we'll use on this map, if we're not going default, we're going to do alley plant, which is right here. Same idea. You can still see it. Check it from all three. If we're doing that plant, it's going to be more... We probably have 2 people sitting up here in alley. We want a couple people to have control of that, so it's an easier check there. But I like that one too because it throws them off. It's in their spawn, but then we can really get control of this back link. We can get back control there, and it's you can still pick it from that side too. Pick it from there, and you got elbow. So those 3 points again to see it and check it from any of those 3 spots. If they have to jump on it in a 1v1 or a 1v2, they're gonna have to. They don't know where you're gonna come from. That's alley plant. And the third spot that we're going to plant, this is like the break glass if emergencies plant spot. If you need a safe spot to plant, Troy, and you feel like you need to get behind these boxes to plant, don't be up against this. You need to be up against this wall and in this corner. Okay, this is what we're going to call box plant. This is like last resort, obviously, because you can't see it from elbow at all. So that completely eliminates our whole elbow push. Planting there, you're going to be safe from anybody in alley. But you can't peek it from alley either. So the only way box plant you can peek from is from link here. So that's the emergency plant spot. We don't want to plant there if we have to, but they're not able to do that sneaky defuse thing. Like they have to get pretty close up here to defuse it, and even if they do, you'll be able to see them right here. So you need to be pressed up against this wall if we're going to do box plant, but it's still a last resort. So for A, we've got default plant here. This is default. We've got alley plant, that's alley plant, and then we've got box plant. This is box plant. We're going to aim to try to get it default every single time. Like I said, unless you tell us that you're planting alley or box, we're going to assume you're planting default right on this spot. Okay. So how do we get to that plant spot? So now, obviously, we're gonna have to fight through here. We're gonna have to figure that out. If we're gonna use stuns, we're gonna use whatever we need to do to try to win these gunfights, clear this out. Our main smokes are gonna be up that way into link, and then back into alley for the people coming up into elbow. And so these are the most common smokes that we're going to want to see here. So as we're pushing up into link and as we're pushing up into elbow, we're going to have a smoke link and a smoke elbow. Or smoke alley. That's going to really help these guys fighting through this way. When we get this smoke here, they're not going to be able to hold it as much there. We're going to be able to get into sight here. And again, once you have bomb down, we can have somebody on site and just have somebody sit here and watch this once that smoke disappears. Put that smoke right there, and then that smoke back down there is going to help the people in alley, and it's going to help clearing this out that way. So once we have site control and we're able to plant there, that smoke should prevent, that smoke combined with the person holding it should help you be able to plant default. Or if we're able to get this kill, like if we're just playing peekaboo with this guy, then perfect, plant default and get out of there, just keep holding it. If you're able to get this kill and we're able to push up a little bit further, that's when alley comes into play. That's when we're going to start planting alley. And we're going to use this site up here in alley and elbow to our advantage a little bit more. If we can get away from link, it's easy. It'll be easier to hold them back that way, using alley and elbow as opposed to elbow and link. So that's if we get that kill here and we're able to push up, then we start using that alley spot. But otherwise, it's default. So we got that smoke over there to help, and then the smoke. Whoops, wrong button. And then the smoke right here to help. The other thing we can do occasionally is if we want to kind of even forget Link, if Link is becoming too tough for us to do, we're going to push most of us through Elbow, because again, I want Elbow being our main focus on A. We're going to put most people through Elbow, and then we can smoke there. So I'm about to get in there like normal, and then we'll throw that second smoke there. Our second smoke will move down over this area to block off that choke point. And again, we'll still be able to plant default. Maybe it'll be a little bit better to plant alley in that case if we're not sending anybody there, but we could send somebody to lurk a little bit as that smoke's going off. You just don't need to play Link as hard if we're starting to get killed there. We'll play Elbow more, and maybe we plant for alley. You can still plant default though, because you're still going to have the support of the people here, even though that smoke. Keep hitting the wrong button. Even though that smoke is down, you're still going to be able to have the support of your however many people we ended up sending Elbow. So you can still plant default, even if we're doing that, because then the person who is lurking Link or whatever later round, default's the best spot because later round, whatever happens, it's the easiest to see from all different sides. So it gives you the most area or the most options to play with in later rounds, no matter what happens when all the strategy goes to shit. So with a 1v1, if you're in here, you know, if you're trying to retake this site and you're coming through here, you're like, oh fuck, he's planting there. You have no idea where this guy might be. You're gonna have to jump on this bomb and you have to look all over. You have no idea where they are. Fuck it, 1v1. You can maybe sit in the back there and play ratty. Like, that's why default is default. So you can still play it in that default spot if we're pushing Elbow. We'll just move that smoke more in this position to let you do it. But alley plant's a good spot for there too, because you can see either spot there you can see from Elbow. For retakes, it's pretty easy. We're just smoking the choke points. We're just smoking in the corner there, and then we're going to smoke with the Elbow. So it'll kind of look like this here. Just smoking the choke points out so that we can retake and regain control of site. That'll make when we're coming through alley here to retake onto A, which is so tough to do when we've got people Elbow, and it's so annoying when we got people Elbow. We're going to smoke it off there, however we want to do that. And that's going to make getting into here, up into these positions to retake site a lot easier. Okay, now let's talk B. B is just as hard to get into for offense because, again, there's literally one frickin' lane to come in, unless you're using mid. So the biggest thing for B is going to be market control here, which really unlocks all of your angles and your fights here, and then pushing up into back sight control. Back sight control is also going to be important for the whole site in general. B is kind of funky, so it's a weird site, but market and back sight are kind of the key points here. It's a weird map because for offense, because there's so little choke points and there's very few places to go. It's a lot of push through and get control of the entire site before planting, and it's similar on B, just like it was on A. But market is very important. Back sight is very important because you have to go through mid to get into market at all. B tends to be the site that sentinels kind of anchor alone, because if you've got somebody mid here that's able to free up that market push. Now we'll talk about it in a minute. Mid is very important because of that. We're probably gonna be fighting for mid a lot this map. But if we have somebody sitting watching mid, and even if we shut that door, if we wanted to, we'll talk about that. It's easy to anchor B site alone as the sentinel, because Millie, again, all they're worried about is here. So Cypher, Killjoy, whoever, even Chamber's decent on this map because you can pick or you can sit here and then retreat. Just get the info. But because there's this only one lane, it's easy for a Killjoy Cypher to kind of set up and anchor this site alone, and then end up falling back if needed. But mid is super important. If you're going to push B, you almost need to do a 2-2 split where you send two people mid. There's almost no way to. It would be very, very difficult to bomb out B through that one way, the whole team. And if you do, we're gonna have to end up getting somebody into market anyway. So if we have the whole team run through this side, we're gonna need Jet or somebody to end up clearing this out as they walk through, or clearing out market and getting control of that, so we can post plan. So market is very, very important. If we're going for B and we can get it, back site is just as important for the same reasons. So getting control over here is just as important as market. Alright, so where to plant the bomb on this side? Where we are not going to plant is in this corner. This corner is just another safe, easy spot that we're going to want to. You plant there, you can't see it from market. There's a good chance, and there are times where people can hide in that corner, and you're gonna have to come all the way this way just to see it. So this is not. This is actually a really, really good wall. It's an unpeakable wall. In order to frickin' see somebody back there, you have to go really far because of the way that it's angled. So. I mean, maybe that's not a bad peak spot, but I don't like it. We're not doing it there. If you're gonna plant, we're gonna plant it a little bit further over to this side. I don't like it there just because of if somebody is trying to play market and they want to play it here, they're not gonna be able to see it there. They will have to come all the way to this corner. We are also not going to plant on this back wall. We plant here on this back wall if we're able to push through here and we get control of Boba and everything over here. We're not planting on that back wall because this is the only way that you can see it. Peeking from over here, you have to come all the way there, and then peeking from this side. If we're playing market, there's no way. You're never going to be able to see it there. You're going to have to come all the way this way and peek it from here. So we're not planting there. So where are we going to plant? We're going to plant on this corner is going to be default spot. Why? Because you can see it from both of these locations. There's no way that you can hide behind here. You have to be completely exposed. It is a decent spot to plant. Like if we get control of market and we kind of get control of this, you should be relatively safe, Trey, for the majority. Like people are going to have to peek you from both sides. But again, pushing it out from the wall here doesn't let somebody hide market. You can see it from market. You can see it from, what is that area? I don't even, B main, we're going to rename B main. I don't like that B main. But you can see it from B main, you can see it from market. So we're going to push it out a little bit further here. That's our default spot. If we're able to take site and get up into Boba here, we can plant, we'll call this market plant. And that can be right here up on this edge. But you want to make sure you're kind of in this corner enough that market can see you easy and Boba can still see you. We don't want it to be far enough on this corner so that somebody could diffuse here. We want to have you be able to peek from market and peek from Boba. So this will be our market plant because you can kind of rotate back and forth and it's a good spot to check from both sides here. So default was there. This is going to become market. And our last plant spot, we'll just call this corner spot. So we get default, we got market plant, and we're going to do, this is going to be called corner. You're going to be pushed up against this wall, but you're going to kind of be in the middle. So you want to be in the middle of this box, but like right here, kind of in the middle. If we plant pushed up against this wall here, we'll call this corner.
Planted.
They can only diffuse it from there, but we're able to check it then from here. You can peek and check it there. You'll be able to see them. You can hop up on these boxes. You can see it there. You can play this angle. Or you can see it from over there, down here. So our three spots here is our default plant spot there that you can see from market, from B main. That's default. And then we've got our market. Good enough. That's our market plant tray. So if you say anything other than default, this is market plant, this is corner plant. We'll call this corner plant. And then corner you can see from there, you can see from B main as well. But corner plant kind of takes out market, and then market plant kind of takes out B main. So kind of those are our three there. Our main smokes for this side as we're coming in and fighting this, like I kind of talked about, this corner is freaking diabolical for people because you have to push so far to check it. So a smoke there, I keep hitting the wrong button. A smoke there is a pretty good one for market. We're gonna have, again, if we're pushing B, we're almost always gonna have to have somebody coming through mid. You almost need a 2-2 split. So somebody should be able to clear that out, but that initial smoke, at least, to prevent them while we're taking site is a big deal. And this smoke back here is the next one. That one can be a little bit deceptive because you have to be sure about where you plant it for the people that are up here. If you put it wrong, or guess what, maybe a little bit closer, people can still kind of peek you coming over there. Let's see if I can get the angle right. Plant it a little close, you can still kind of see people walking up over top. So we want to be careful not to just throw the smoke right in the middle here, because then they can see it from that side. Whoever it is, Astra, Omen, whoever it is, if we throw it just right in the middle like that, they're going to be able to see over. So it has to go a little bit further towards the right, which is a little annoying to try to get this whole thing, I guess. But it's got to go a little bit further towards the right when we smoke this out to get the people up here. And then once we have that smoked out, if we're able to get kind of market control back here, we get that smoked out, that's when we're going to be able to have somebody push through here and get into this really good spot. And then even push back through this way. So, back to the main idea here. Mid becomes super important because there's really two main choke points for A and B. And you need mid in some way, shape, or form as an attacker to execute these sites. So, mid becomes very important. We're going to want to fight for mid a lot here. And if we lose mid, our life becomes that much more difficult. Good thing is, it's easy to set up on those two choke points, kind of like I said before. We have our sentinel over on B, whether that's Killjoy, whoever wants to set up all their crap on B. It's easy to stop that checkpoint and then free up that other player to kind of play, I don't know who it'll be, say Astra, play more market and help out mid. Same thing with Jet. And now if we're thinking about this other side here, we got our two players on A that are going to be looking here. If we can get this main A side cleared out and we can get somebody to be pushed up into tiles here, that eliminates A altogether, and we can have this other second person on A rotate back over and help out. So mid kind of becomes, in a way, the name of the game here. If we can get, like I said, we get somebody into tiles, and then we got a roamer here. You can do whatever you want. So you can come help here. You can even help mid. We could put two people tiles, and that'd be a big deal. There's no way they're going to get behind you to A there. But yeah. Baseline setup is going to be the 2-1-2 here, and mid is going to be our priority. If they bomb out of sight, either way, again, we want to try to keep elbow control as much as we can, but back up. And then B is a little weird. B is just kind of a retake site. I don't expect much pressure throughout the map on B, but again, just fall back and we'll adjust if we need to. I don't have that great a strategy on B, but I don't think it's used that much. And our counters really get market. Get control of market, get control of back alley the same way that we want to do on offense. And that's how we can counter it. So just keep mid control, and they're not going to be able to do much for B. Flying through that one choke site is going to be tough. So mid becomes the main point of the game. The map's already pretty small as it is. What the fuck? Well, anyway, the map's already pretty small as it is, so having mid to be able to rotate back and forth through here is a big deal. So the way it works is offense has first dibs on tiles, while defense has first dibs on this mid lane here. So they're gonna be able to get into this tiles area before we are. So that's why getting through A here and then putting pressure on them backwards, along with this person that's helping mid and then this person that's helping mid. Again, this person mid. If we don't shut this door, on defense, we probably want to keep it open, because if we don't shut it, then this person's able to help tiles there, along with that help tiles there, and then this guy can also see mid. So fighting for tiles, fighting for mid is going to be a big part of this game, and that's why it's nice to lock down one sentinel on B to let this other person free up towards mid, and the game here so we can push somebody into tiles on the back. So we're going to have to mess with it on offense a little bit. We have to try different things, see if we want a smoke down that way, or defense we're going to mainly want to keep this closed, but maybe we do want somehow on offense get a smoke in here and then get somebody to close that, because then we can keep all of our gunfights in front of us and push closer up this way into Link and Alley for A. I don't know. We'll have to try different things. Same thing on defense here, like knowing that they can get there quick. We might not want to just sit here and peek that and look there and try to do it with guns. Like, it might be a good idea to throw a smoke there, or have Skye play here and flash out this way. And maybe we try to push in and take control of that with a smoke here or something. I don't know. So we'll have to mess around with that. But mid is going to be a big playground on this map, it seems like. If we can get control of mid, we're going to be able to do a lot, and just having the knowledge of both sites, overview kind of the way we do now. Control mid, win the game. Control mid, control elbow on A, control market on B. Bingo. Alright, and agents now. I purposely didn't really talk about agent comp yet because I want your guys' opinion. Now that we kind of have the idea of how we want to play this map, we can talk about what we want to do on it. Pro comps. It's mainly a jet map, Dan. Jet map for the ops that you can do with the check A and then the mid. But Jet's the main one here. If you want to use Neon for whatever reason, go for it. If you think you can rotate quick, I think this is a smaller map, so I don't think the rotations are as big of a deal. I think Jet will be the bigger util for Duelist here. For pros, the meta currently seems to be double controller. You're seeing a lot of Astra and Viper on teams with the double smokes. I don't know if we want to do that. If they run a second Duelist, the main Duelist that's run on this map is Raze. I kind of like that more. I don't know if we should do a double... I like the double Duelist idea better, but if we want to check out a double controller, this is probably the map to do it because of all the choke points, and we tend to need some smokes. Tend to need more smokes than normal. If we go down to one controller, the pro comp I see a lot with one controller when they'll run double initiator if they don't do double controller, but I'm seeing a lot of Harbor. Harbor seems to be this, if they don't run like Astra is very popular on this map, but if they don't run an Astra with another controller like an Omen, I've seen Omen too. So if you don't run an Astra Omen or an Astra Viper, I'm seeing a lot of solo Harbor. His wall can be pretty crazy on this map, so if there's solo controller, I tend to see him quite a bit. So when I see them play with the single controller, it's Harbor, and then they use the double initiator, which is almost always Sova Skye. The double initiator on this map with the stun and the shock seems to be the move. I've also seen teams use Breach. I've also seen teams use KO. I pretty much see Skye everywhere. If I don't see Silva, I'll see one of these two. But that's kind of, I think that's kind of where we're at with initiators. I think Breach could be pretty good on this map. Sentinels, it's mainly Killjoy, Cypher, I mean pretty much everywhere for this locking down B for those reasons. I have been seeing some Chamber. We'll look at that. I think it's probably a Killjoy map. The thing I like about Cypher is if we're having a lot of trouble on A, Cypher, the range for Cypher stuff. I can throw tripwires down with Cypher and these things could sit and I will know if it's destroyed or somebody leaves, whether I'm helping you on A or not. If I'm with Killjoy and you throw her shit down, obviously her turrets and her alarm bots have a range. I can't go anywhere but B and have those be useful. So that's why I've been leaning into Cypher more, but if we're confident on A, if we're going through practice and we're feeling confident on A, and we don't think that I'm going to have to rotate that much, Killjoy is probably the better one. But if we're having more pressure A and need the extra help, probably Cypher. I don't know if I'll mess around with Chamber, but I've been seeing a lot of him on this map, so that's kind of what we're looking at. We're going to have to figure out some pushes. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to experiment with some stuff. Again, just like random smokes, different places. I mean, we put a smoke like up here mid. They're going to have to push. They're going to have to deal with that. Same thing smoking there if we don't want to break the door or walk in to pull that if we can't do that. So we'll have to mix up some stuff. We'll have to figure some stuff out. But if we're pushing B, we're probably going to want 2 mid every time. But it might just be a good idea on offense to establish fighting for mid regardless. Same thing on A with elbow. Once we get somebody into elbow, it's really tough to deal with as a defender. So mid, market for B, elbow for A. There we go.